To start today's Bible Answer Man broadcast, here's your host, Hank Hanegraaff.
Thank you very much, Randy. A lot of you hanging on. We'll go right to our phone calls. First up is Valerie. She's listening in Jacksonville, Texas. Hi, Valerie.
Hello, Mr. Hanegraaff. My question today, I've heard several sermons here lately on polygamy. Now, let me first say I'm not a polygamist. I don't believe in polygamy. But they seem to always come to the conclusion that polygamy has always been wrong and that it has never been accepted by God. When it seems to me that in Job, it bears out that after he went through all he had to go through, God then gave him new wives and new children, plus the fact that even King David, even though Absalom and all that turned out really badly, his polygamy did, God did make the comment that not in his life did he ever do anything that displeased him, except in the case of Uriah the Hittite. So it didn't appear to me that polygamy was a problem until, just like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth became a problem. It became a problem with the New Covenant, when the New Covenant came in, and when the Spirit of Christ began to dwell inside of people. It looks like to me that's where the line was drawn. What do you say?
Well, I think that's wrong on a number of different levels. First of all, let me say this, that I don't think in Job God multiplied wives, but he multiplied his children, the children that he had lost.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it again, but I really thought that it said that he gave him more than one wife.
But even if that's the case, we can put that aside for just a second, because there is such a thing as a difference between that which is descriptive and that which is prescriptive. What is prescriptive in the Bible is you must not multiply wives. Not only that, if you look at the consequences of multiplying wives, not only with David, but also with his son Solomon. Now, Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And the Bible makes clear that because he made all these alliances through marrying or having concubines of all these women, his eyes were turned away from the Lord his God. And the consequence is graphically laid out in the Bible such that the kingdom after Solomon was torn in two. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom were a direct result of the sin of Solomon. And so the consequences to sin follow inexorably, like night follows day. Now, further, this is not something that happens in the New Covenant. It is something that goes back to all of Scripture. In fact, in the New Testament, Jesus makes it clear that a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, not wives, and the two, not three or more, become one flesh. Well, Jesus is actually referring to Genesis 2 in making his point. Jesus says that anyone who divorces his wife as well, and again, it's not wives, except for marital unfaithfulness and marries another, commits adultery. And then in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, Paul picks up on that theme, saying each man should have his own wife, not wives, and each woman her own husband, not husbands. So I think... But
on the other hand, he blessed the whole nation of Israel through polygamy.
No, he did not. He blessed people in spite of polygamy, not for polygamy.
The 12 children were ordained of Israel.
Well,
the 12 children, that was an ordination of God.
Well, you can say that in a lot of different ways, but if you look at Abraham as a classic case in point, he developed a relationship with a concubine, and as a result of that had Ishmael. And Ishmael and Isaac...
Bad decision.
Bad decision, exactly. And the Bible lays out the bad decision. In other words, here...
I don't think had anything to do with polygamy. I think.
Well, my point is, though, that this is taking matters into your own hand instead of trusting the hand of God. So my point is this, that throughout the Bible, it is very clear prescriptively that you must not multiply wives. The Bible does, however, present the patriarchs, the people, in stark reality. In other words, it doesn't airbrush people. it gives them with all their warts and moles and wrinkles, and it also shows the consequences of their sins so that we do not fall into the same trap.
And I'll agree with that, but I still cannot rectify the whole nation of Israel being preordained by God through polygamy.
But look, it was ordained by God that Christ should die, but it was the most evil act humans could ever perpetrate.
Evil but necessary.
Yeah, but I think the point that you have to recognize here is that nowhere in the Bible is there ever a prescription, nowhere, for polygamy. And where the Bible speaks directly, it says you must not do it. Therefore, I don't think that you can say that because the Bible describes people who take matters into their own hands or do things that are forbidden by God, that you can say now, because that is described in the Bible, that the Bible actually gives credence to it as being correct or being right in the eyes of God.
I can agree with that. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for calling me.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, look forward to it.